day and welcome back to Elementary 72 Gaming. So for today's episode, I'm going to be going over a possibility for one of the 10 great warriors who may side with Palm. Now, there are some things about one of the 10 great family heads that says that he might be more along the side of jovial grace than on the side of Jahan. And this is somebody's more or less carefree attitude. They don't like being part of too many things. They antisocial, they love women, they love wine, they love grapes. Okay, so obviously there isn't even a question about who I'm talking about. It's Khun Edwan. So yeah, now I'm just saying that this is a possibility. One of those who might actually side with Bam, and with him will come his general best friend, the person who works best with him. Getting the name of this job, Hendolak Bloodman. But Hendolak isn't really major into the story, and I will be explaining why I suspect he will join this craziness on the side of Bam. So if Khun Edwan were to jump into the story, I have this aching feeling that he's more on the side of Bam and Khun than anybody else. I have a feeling that he really admires Khun because Khun doesn't want to just sit by and be a puppet who follows the rules that everybody else follows. He wants to do things as he wishes and when he wishes. He is selfish enough, and he shows the spirit that Khun Edwan loved in himself. Obviously, I'm just saying it there about Khun Edwan from what I understood about him as a regular. So yeah, that's the basics that we understand about Khun Edwan. The next thing to understand about what I'm about to say is, when we think about Khun Edwan against his son, we're really comparing the heaven and the earth. There's such a big difference between the two, but they both have their strong points. While Khun Edwan is unbelievably powerful, his son doesn't have anywhere near his power. You could never reach him in using the powers that he has. That's how come he became a light bearer, to find another way around him. But nonetheless, let me explain why I suspect that he might actually join VO. Something tells me that in order to get him to side against V and against Arlene, it was all about whatever mistake they made on whichever floor the red light district was in. Whatever happened over there, they committed an atrocity so great that it shook them up so badly they couldn't forgive themselves for it. And in that chaotic mess of things that they were going through internally, they ended up with the war where they ended up taking the side of Jihad for the sake of the survival of their families. Because they had multiple family members, and even if they were planning to betray Jihad at some point or the other, when they saw what he did to Arlene's son, the person who he supposedly loved, they decided, you know what, we have families. For the sake of them, let's not allow this yet to happen. Now, we know that he is a very selfish man. However, I have a feeling that he's a better father than we take him for. He isn't part of that whole infighting between his wives, right? The multiple wives stories, you know what? You can say whatever you want with it. It's who he is. It's a reality about the nature of some people. And the amount of womanizing and things that he goes through is just Khun Edwan being Khun Edwan. So nonetheless, we're going to see him introduced at some point or the other. He is definitely a possibility for joining Bam's side, because Bam's side might show him a chance to get over the regrets that he has. And what's happening within his family most probably doesn't keep him very happy. He's most probably heartbroken internally. He most probably has a lot of pain that he's going through, which is the reason why he is so secluded from his loved ones. Understand that the idea of immortality is something which everybody has, but most people who really think about being immortal will always think about the pain that is involved in it. Now, you know, when you think about it, everybody wants to live forever. But living forever without others living forever with you is pointless. It doesn't have any meaning to it. It's devoid of the truest and purest of emotions that you can feel. You become empty, you become bored, you become resentful to everything that you are, and you just want an end to it. And we saw that in the form of what happened with I'm forgetting the name again. How can I just mention it and forget it? His wife is Aline. Was what happened to Aline. When she lost a child, she wanted to end her life. She wanted it to stop. It became such a pain on her that happened, and he couldn't stand the pain as far as the story tells us, so he committed suicide. So yeah, that's the whole thing that happened. So yeah, that's what we know about them. And obviously something must have happened on that floor with the red light district, is something that's so big that broke them all apart and put them in different states of mind during this whole situation. We know that Eurasia Pansko isn't 100% on Jahad's side, right? We know that Gustang is 100% not on Jahad's side. It made no sense for him to be on Jahad's side unless he knew that B and Aline couldn't win. So yeah, that's the reason. But when it comes to Bam, they must probably have this aching feeling that he can win. So when this happens, we're going to see them take their sides as they would if both sides had a chance. So we're going to get some of them jumping on Bam's side. We're going to get them fighting against Jahad. So for Jahad's side, who do I think is definitely not changing sides? Well, there's two family heads who 100% will not abandon Jahad. Arye Han, and second to that there is the head of the Lopovia family. They are absolutely 100% Jahad's leftovers. They will be on his side no matter what. So those three we know are going to be on that side. So to compete with Arye Han, we've got Khun Edwan. Then we definitely know if he's going to show up, most probably Blood Matter is going to join him. So Handolak Blood Matter might be the third one here. Gustang is serving his own purpose, but he will be against Jahad, so he'll be with these three. Yuran Ha will definitely be on the side, so we know that's who we can gather the side should be, and Eurasia Pansko. The rest, I suspect all the rest will side with Jahad. I know that sounds a little bit sad and a little bit not so well balanced, but guys, I suspect that's how things are going to side. Bam will be on the back foot. In terms of the Slayers, I suspect a few of them are going to die. Right? I know number 11 is definitely going to die soon. Yeah, he's looking like his death is upon him. He brought it on himself. Okay, so let's go on with the next part to this insanity. So beyond all of this, I've just given the starting points and the basics on what I believe and why I'm saying Edwan and the others would be there. But let's go on to further what I think is really going on in Edwan's head. I don't think that Khun stole from Edwan. I think Edwan allowed him into his treasury. That would mean that Khun Edwan really wanted to see his son survive and prosper. He wanted to see his son climb up to higher levels. I don't think that Khun Edwan really is all that big of a fan of the princess program and of the fighting that goes on within his family. I think he's tired of it. I think he's really at the point where, the person will be like, I've had enough. I just want to find something that makes me happy. So I'm just going to ignore all of this because there's nothing I can do about it. It's not going to stop no matter what I say. So that's his likely attitude internally. So he's just going with the flow and following everybody else. So that's what's happening. And with the introduction of Bam gives him this hope for something. You know what? My son is with him. My son is doing well. My son is climbing. This boy shows potential. He shows more potential than I've seen from anybody so far. He even has more potential than that crazy beast Jurek Mazzino. So yeah, you know what? I'm going to join this year. He has as much potential as Pentaminum, Enryu. Pentaminum or Enryu. He has that much of potential. He's in their league. So yeah, we're gonna side with this kid. Let's see how far he goes from this point onwards. He's reaching crazy levels. Let's see what he can do. He's going to fight again on the next floor. He's going to fight on the floor after that. He's going to keep fighting. And they're going to start joining in when the wars start breaking out on each of the floors. I suspect he's only going to jump in the end section. I don't think he is a Nest Arc worthy intervention. But he is a possibility for the Nest Arc intervention if the Logovia head jumps in. I would suspect the better jump in at that point if Loco Bearhead jumps in would be Gusting. Just for a little distraction for a little bit in the fight, and I expect Gusting to get hit really, really hard and get pushed down severely. And the next thing we should see is Enryu show up in the fight. And that should turn the entire tables on everything that's going on. As I said, I expect Enryu to show up in this chapter. We need at least a tease to him, or we need him to show up 100% within this next few chapters. Or these next few mini arcs, episodes, basically he's going to show up here. And when he shows up, everything is going to go to hell. He's going to use his 9,000 orb technique, and we're going to see the end of it, right? Edwan, I'm suspecting is going to be the big sad death that we aren't expecting. I know that it isn't something that everyone is expecting, but I'm expecting Edwan to be the one to bite the bullet. I suspect Edwan is taking on the hardest task from everybody, and she's going to fail and she's going to get killed. Right, so there's my predictions and why I am so sure that Khun Edwan is going to be on Balm's side. He's just one of the potentials. As I said, Gusting is the number one. I don't really think I can do a video on Gusting. We don't have enough on his character. We know that he is a nerd and so forth, but we don't have the in-between details to actually give you a full dossier on him, or to actually give a reason for him showing up here. The only thing that I can see as a reason is he's here to stop them from killing Balm, because he needs Balm to take care of Jahad for him, because he wants to continue up the tower as well. So yeah, that's just the basics that I have. I hope that everybody does enjoy these videos. And there is a special video that I might not have released. Actually, I'm intending not to release it until a few episodes down the line, when I come up to the last option of who I might think will show up at this battle to help out Balm. So see you all then, and have a good day.